All right, the president is still holding out hope that his left-wing agenda is going to put America on the road to recovery. And considering the millions of Americans out there who are without work and struggling, well, just to get by, I guess you can say he has the audacity of hope. Now, President Obama is convinced that he can spend and tax his way out of this mess. Just take a look.
We knew from the very beginning that some of the steps we took would be difficult and unpopular. You know, sometimes these pundits, they can't figure me out. They say, well, why is he doing that? You know, that doesn't poll well. Well, I've got my own pollsters. I know it doesn't poll well, but it's the right thing to do for America.
All right, perhaps the anointed one is in need of a wake-up call, and that could very well come in the form of the November midterm elections. Republicans are now surging in the polls. Democrats are doing their best to shield themselves from an increasingly unpopular president. Mr. Obama addressed the upcoming referendum on his presidency just this morning.
This is going to be a choice between the policies that got us into this mess and my policies that are getting us out of this mess.
All right, guess what, Mr. President? We don't have to wait until November. A brand new Fox News Opinion Dynamics poll gives us a preview of what could lie ahead for the Democrats. 41% of voters surveyed said they will cast their ballots to express opposition to the president's policies. Only 33% say their vote is to express support for his policies. So with those numbers in mind, just how much trouble is the Democratic Party in come November in 109 days? Here with analysis, the host of Money Rocks on the Fox Business Network. Look at that picture.
Wow.
Look at that. How do you get to do your show without a tie? How did you get that no tie thing?
In fact, you know what I did, Sean, last night? I wore a tie, and I got the phone call and said, you know what, lose the tie, Bolling. Just go no tie.
What is this? I've been begging to lose the tie for, years. I have to wear the tie. I get to keep the jeans, but it's my show. All right. Eric Bolling's with us, 8 to 11 every night in the Fox Business Network. And from Project 21, Fox News contributor Deneen Borelli is back with us. All right. Reaction to the president today.
The American people have given Obama his report card. He is failing. And, we're tired of the mentality of do as I say and not as I do. And the people have had it. Unemployment sky high. He wants to push his cap and trade agenda, which was his campaign promise early on. And right now, it looks like that's going to be for utility base.
You know what I did tonight, Sean? I started the show like this. Okay, Mr. Obama, you got health care. President Obama, you got FinReg, financial reg form that was signed yesterday. I would love to dive into that a little bit.
By the way, which doesn't address the fundamental problem.
Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Neither one are touched. Not only are they not touched, they were arguably ground zero for the financial meltdown, not discussed, but what were discussed in the 2,300-page bill were things like, hey, you have to have racial diversity. You have to have gender diversity on boards. You have to have union and activist representation on corporate boards, but not Fannie and Freddie. Okay, so we gave him that. We gave him FinReg. We gave him health care. Do us a favor. The most expensive of all these, cap and trade.
There is a success story out there. There are two success stories in the business world. Look, I got to give credit where credit is due. Thanks to Obama spending, Washington, D.C. is now the wealthiest city in America. And if your name is Gerald Nadler and you're a congressman, you don't have to pay your taxi cab bill because you don't think it's fair. And the reason is we didn't pay the bill. If we were paying it, he would have paid the bill.
But even with the stimulus, they promised, 8% unemployment, 8 or below, and that didn't pan out. And then all the money they spent on the signs announcing the
$20 million on why am I not in the sign business for crying? 17 jobs. There is some funny news that came out this week that makes me want to cry. 17 jobs, $20 million we're using to build the signs. Right. The president goes to Holland, Michigan yesterday. Okay, they're going to build electric car batteries. I'm all for new technology. I'm an all of the above guy. The president goes there, $151 million in stimulus funds. And 300 jobs created. That's $500,000 a job.
503,000 bucks a job. If you go to recovery.gov, that's where every dime they spend in the stimulus plan is accounted for. I did that, Sean. There was a little beacon up above the northern border of America, and I said, why would there be something spent up there? I pressed the button. It was in Ottawa, Canada. There was $14 million spent, some of which went to nanometrics in Ottawa, Canada. It's crazy. By the way, there was also one in Minnesota We're at $437,000. So I pressed it, what's the job? They weren't sure what the job was going to be. They were scheduling work. How many jobs? 0.03, 3/100ths of one job created.
But not only that, how they're handling Arizona, for example, making it a racial issue, how they are not handling the National Black Panther
The new Black
issue,
Panther Party issue.
That's a problem. They're stirring up race
The
relations.
new Black Panther, the Democrat National Committee actually is saying that that they're claiming a big advantage going into the midterms. In spite of all the polls, ABC News, Washington Post, CBS, Fox News, Opinion Dynamics, this poll shows that the president is dragging down the Democrats. They're all now at each other's throats. Pelosi's mad at Robert Gibbs in the White House. Not a good situation to be in 109 days out of the election.
And not good for incumbents coming in as well. And, you know, it's just not going to be a pretty scene during the midterm elections.
You know, I looked at Gibbs's comments, and when I first heard him, I'm like, well, is this the wake-up call? Are they saying, you know, if Gibbs can come out and say, hey, anything can happen in November, maybe that would energize the base, and maybe it did. But then when Pelosi came and said he doesn't know what he's talking about, she was mad. The smarter thing would have been just let it go. Let it go. That would have energized it. Right. It would energize the Democratic base more than fighting.
You know, I have a different theory. Maybe I'm wrong. I actually think there was some strategy behind it. I think they want to raise expectations. I was discussing this with Michelle Bachmann, Congresswoman Bachmann. I think they want to raise expectations as high as they can so that even if the Republicans took the House, the Senate, by massive margins, well, it's not quite the victory we anticipated. So,
but it's a throw them out mentality right now because of all of the programs that have failed.
They're in more trouble, Sean. They're in more trouble if they retain the House and the Senate and lose a lot of seats, but you still retain control, because then
six in 10 Americans don't have confidence in this president and his ability to solve problems.
That's right.
That is not a good sign.
Yeah.
All right, guys, congrats on the new show.
Thank you very much, Sean.
And it's good to see you. Thank you for being with us. And we have plenty more Hannity coming up straight ahead.